Absolute stunning news with our favorite, most undervalued asset in the world, silver. We're going to talk about gold also, but guys, the numbers are getting unbelievable when it comes to silver. We are being like shocked on a daily basis. What's the latest? Let's look at the dollar to silver ratio, which has absolutely, it was already exploding. Now it's like triple exploded. Let's go take a look. You're not going to believe this. I was shocked last night. Several of you brought this to my attention. I went out and confirmed it for myself. Here we are at the U.S. debt clock. We come here almost every day. It's one of our basement dweller field trips that we enjoy going on. And when we look down here, and I want to zoom in for you. Oh my gosh. This is incredible, guys. And what does this mean for us as silver and gold investors? Let's get back over here. And here, whoa, hold on. Here it is, right here, right in the middle of your screen. You can see my yellow cursor. The dollar to silver ratio yesterday was somewhere in the low 700s, and overnight has exploded to 933. We've got big news to talk about during this live stream. The COMEX, the LBMA, the COMEX raising the margin requirements on silver contracts. What's going on with the BRICS? There are so many factors feeding into what's going on with silver, but this one alone, remember, quick review. This is the number of paper dollars created via the M2 money supply, okay, on an annual basis for each 1 ounce of silver. So for each 1 ounce of silver that's being produced right now on an annual basis in the entire world, we have almost approaching 1,000. We'll have to have a big party, guys, when we get to 1,000 paper US dollars. Let's run out to our spreadsheet. Let me double check, make sure it hasn't gone up anymore. Okay, 933. So we're keeping track of this together, basement dwellers, and unbelievable. Yesterday, we were shocked at 741. And look at that, right? Look at that. For each 1 ounce of silver being mined in the world overnight, now there are actually 200 more ounces or 200 more paper dollars per ounce being developed. Let me give you a quick visual, my friends. All right. Hey, thank you guys. Wow. Oh, I forgot to tell you the most important thing. Yeah, thank you for being here. We got a special guest in the basement today. You know who that is? The most important guest in the world. That's you. This is not possible, silver lover, gold lover, precious metal mining stock lover of life, however you want to refer to yourself. I'm not allowed to call you guys Buttercup anymore. I'm getting some flack on that. Sorry, Buttercup. Anyway, right? It's a big deal you're here. Thank you. All right, let's talk silver. Oh, I'm knocking stuff over. We are going off the rails. Okay. I would like you to imagine this is all the paper money in the world. Okay. Think of that $933 on the US debt clock. This here piece of silver is all the silver and gold in the world. Okay. They can print these, which what we're seeing on the US debt clock. Right? No matter what number you want, they can print these to infinity. They can't print these. If this is all the silver in the world, this stays static. This barely, well, wait a minute, there's a bonus here, but this is it. It's finite. There's only a certain amount. These can be made to infinity, but it's even crazier. The reason why we even need to realize this is even more important is because while these are being printed, I wish I had a big pile of them, right? Printed to infinity. Hold on a second. Hold on, basement dwellers. I can make this even better. Let's all quickly say hello to Jerome Powell, but we're not here to rip on Jerome. Jerome, you get a day off. This is all the dollars in the world. This is all the silver in the world. They can print these to infinity, right? Right? They can't print these, but it's even crazier when you realize this absolute fact. Not only is this remaining static, the amount of gold and silver in the world, and this just gets printed, this is actually shrinking when we talk about silver because of the silver deficit. The amount of this is shrinking while this is, I mean, what else do we need? Should we just stop the live stream right now? We don't need anything else. Go out and buy silver, you know? It's impossible. In my mind, I could be wrong, but that's the reason why, to me, when I think about silver in particular and gold, I love gold and I love the mining stocks, you know that. But when I think about silver, I just get this warm, fuzzy feeling, almost as warm and a fuzzy feeling as I get when I think about you. Almost as warm and fuzzy of a feeling as I get when I think about Susie. Anyway, let's go. That silver Susie, my lovely wife, who cannot be on the live stream this morning. She has other obligations. Couple more very interesting things going on this here. Oh boy, look at that, folks. I told you the debt's going to keep going up. I mean, the debt's a massive problem. Everybody's waking up. We're going to talk about a Minsky moment later in this video, but let's check out. Did you know this up at the top? Let's look at the world quickly to see if we're alone. The world is awash in debt. And what about the BRICS countries? Okay, sure, China is up there, right? They also have a massive economy, but this, you can go to that click that world button and see, look at the debt of the world. This is the important thing to look at. Public debt to GDP ratio. Okay, look at the USA, look at China, look at Japan. And that's where we're heading, guys. That's the United States in the future. Germany, the UK, India, France, Italy, Brazil. The world is just awash in debt. Remember Greece? Do you guys remember, like, I don't know, it was like 10 years ago, Greece was like going to blow up the whole EU, the European Union. Look at them. They're way up there too, 230%. Now, you think when we look at that U.S. debt clock that you're in trouble, because if you are joining me from the United States of America, and I'm patriotic, I know you are, right? We can sing, God, I won't sing, God bless America, you know, all the songs we were taught, right? I have a self-waving American flag. I got one up there in the background with the elephant, but there's a big if you live in the United States of America like I do, right? I live in the heartland in St. Louis, home of the world's biggest silver arch. Nonetheless, per citizen, right? You can look at your little baby grandbaby or your kids or yourself. Look at yourself. Go look in the mirror and say, I have 110,000 extra in debt, thanks to my trusted, lovely politicians. But wait, there's more. I didn't realize this. I didn't even think about this. There's very likely you got even more debt that you don't know about. One more time out to the U.S. debt clock, because when you, let's go back. There's the world debt clock, but there's state debt clocks. I had no idea. There's so much stuff on this page. You can pull up your state. Let's say you live in the great state of Missouri. You can pull up Missouri, whatever state you're in, and it'll pull up for you all kinds of data this is the one I think is important, debt per citizen. So not only, since I live in Missouri, do I have 110,000 in debt, but on top of that, an extra 9,000. Let's look at one more state. Let's see, which state do you want me to look at? How about we look at North Carolina, just for fun? Debt per citizen, 5,000. So if you're in North Carolina, you're doing a little better than we are here in the United States. Up. Hold on. And just get back here. Let's take a look at here, right? There's the total U.S. national debt. Here's where you find the debt per citizen. That's every living being in the United States, whether they're 1-year-old or 101-year-old. Per citizen, 106,000. If you're a working taxpayer in the United States, you've got almost 300,000 in debt. Okay, enough of that. How are you guys doing this morning? Let's go check on the silver and gold price. What do you say, huh? Look, I've got some good news for you. There's a big reason why you should not be frustrated with what we've gone through this week with the silver and gold price. We've got, actually, this is a reason for you to take a little stock and be a little happy and realize, look, we know, I showed you, we know what's going to happen. But I've got some data that I want to show you as well. But let's run out to Pimbeck's channel sponsor, and we are going to update the silver and gold price. There's the yellow triangle. You guys can do this at home as well. You can press the Pimbeck's magic button, and let's see. Okay, Wow. Silver's only down a penny, guys. Gold only down $6. Silver was down like 30 cents earlier today. Thank you, Pimbex. You know, we appreciate you. Now, we do appreciate Pimbex. What I love about having Pimbex as a sponsor, they're an online bullion dealer. If you want to buy gold, silver, platinum group metals, and you're going to buy it online, please do yourself a big favor, check out Pimbex. But what I love about Pimbex and having them as a sponsor is quite simply, I know that they treat our community, the basement dweller community, like gold or platinum or silver. Seriously, I get overwhelming positive response. You know what? Let me just show you this one more time. I think this bears repeating. If I can find it, I want to show you. This was a public comment on one of my videos. This guy says, Marshall says, good morning, Ron. By buying from Pimbex versus which is one of the other big online bullion dealers, we're not here to bash anybody, I saved almost $1,000. I made sure to tell Pimbex's Mike and Brian, those are the brothers that own this company. And I'm going to say something about them in a second. I'll finish his comment. I had you for discovering Pimbex. Once again, watching and listening to your channel saved me many dollars, worthy of my thanks. Let me tell you something. I've worked with Pimbex for a year. Okay. Mike and Brian. Okay. Despite the fact that they're CPAs, they're accountants like I am. These are good quality people, right? I know that they're taking great care of their customers. I know that they're taking great care of you. So guys, please do yourself a favor. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but give them a chance next time you're going to buy silver, gold, or platinum group metals. You can even call them and talk to them on the phone. Great guys, great people. They are very busy right now, but you know, I know they do a great job of getting back to everybody. Thank you, Pimbex, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. And let's go look at hey, thank you, Jake. Annie, is the best mod. Yes, Annie Oakley, thank you for being a moderator here on the channel. You are the best. We love you. Okay. We also love you, Jake, and we love Big Tim the Silvershire. Now, guys, let's go to the silver price. I'm going to give you a reason why we can all stop crying in our Cheerios. Let's see. This is the silver. This is the futures contract, but let's refresh here to make sure. Okay, we're down almost 10 cents in the futures market. Let's go to 1 month. There we are. Okay, today is the 25th. Let's make sure I got you on the screen here with me, guys, which I do. Let's find 2 weeks ago today. Do you remember 2 weeks ago today? That would be the 11th. Why is the 11th not showing up on this chart? Well, anyway, we'll say the 13th. 12 days ago today, right? 10-13. Yes. Okay. We were at $31 silver in the futures market 2 weeks ago. Remember that live stream? I remember it. I remember talking to you. We were at $31 and we were talking about how in the coming weeks, we could see $33, $34 silver, or we could see $28, $26 silver. Guys, we broke through that critical 32.50 resistance that we had. Let's just look at it one more time. This is a 1 year chart of silver, and I got to pull out the crayons. And okay, here, this was the line in the sand that we fought against for the longest time. Okay, since May, 5 months. Boom, boom. This was resistance. We could not break through that level. We broke through right here, right where we are now. Okay. It's okay, even if we come, look at this line, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, all the way back to 32.50. Okay, from there, one of two things will happen. Either buyers will step in and we will bounce, because that red line, which was resistance, was hard for us to get through, now becomes what they call support. Okay, so if we bounce back down, all right, it's very likely, even if we do, we will shoot back up. There's a chance that we could go straight down. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we are in good news. Whoa, hold on. We got another super chat. Wow. Best combine driving mod in the business. They are the best mods in the business. I am very, very lucky. Debbie, because Ron and 888, what does this say? Thank you, Joe. because Ron and 888 are always awesome. Thank you. Wow, what a day, man. Okay. And we're going to come back and check on the, thank you, Debbie. Wow. Man, you guys, all of you, Jake, Joe, Debbie, thank you for those super chats. We're going to come back and check on the silver price a little bit later in the show, but we got a lot more to talk about. Let's talk about the slammo-jamos, the COMEX manipulation, okay? This is going on. What does that mean? That at the COMEX, the big bullion banks, right? The 5 big banks, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, blah, blah, they're at it. They're up to it again. They are giving it all. The reason this is important, this manipulation that goes on this market, is because right now they're giving it all they got. They're throwing all their evilness at the silver price. And it, so far, is not working. What does that mean? That means like that chart we saw, right? That even if silver does get beat down by $1 or $1.50 from here, okay, they're giving it all they got. They did big news from the COMEX as well. We got a lot to talk about. Hold on. Let's go out and here we go. This is from Jesse Colombo, right? This guy's one of the shooting stars in the precious metals community. Silver has been slammed in 3 of the last 4 trading sessions, and it's always in the morning, New York time. I'm crying foul because it's obvious market manipulation. This is a long established pattern. Don't gaslight me and tell me this is organic or just random. Let's take a look at this chart that he put up. Okay, here we go. This was on the 21st. If you can see at the bottom of the screen, which you can, this down here is the 21st. Okay, look at all those red bars and look at how the price of silver got slammed. So that would have been what? Today's the 25th. I don't know, Tuesday, I guess. Here's Wednesday. Same time, morning time in New York. Look at all those big red bars. Look how the silver price, there's the dollar price of silver, got absolutely slammed. And then again, it happened on the 24th, which would have been yesterday. More red bars, more slammy jammy. Okay, that's what the COMEX is up to. He says morning slams equal obvious market manipulation. If it's not manipulation, then why are these sharp moves almost always to the downside and occur between 9 and 11 a.m.? Okay, now let's talk about this big news out of the COMEX. They're raising margin. The COMEX, where they, don't forget, for those of you who are new, the COMEX, the CRIMEX, some people call it, is where they trade the paper silver, the make-believe silver, the unicorn fart dust silver, right? That's where they trade it, is on the COMEX, and they are manipulators. You want to see what kind of silver they trade? Let me show you something. I want to tell you guys quickly, I'm doing a giveaway of one of these. For those of you who are new, this is the DirtyMan SAFE. DirtyMan SAFE. This is actually the Dirty Girl, their smallest, but I'm giving away one of these on December 30th, 2024. You can put, this thing is really cool. When it showed up, I was like, and I got one hanging somewhere. Where is it? There it is. That's the bigger one. I don't know how good you can see that right there. Anyhow, I was shocked, but the quality of this and just how cool it is, and this is not just a couple of PVC pipes glued together. Trust me. All right. But let's see what you don't want to put inside your, see if anything from the, oh, look what's in there, guys. Look what's in there. That's not what you want to put in your DirtyMan SAFE. You want to put silver in there, right? See, this makes no noise. This is what the COMEX and the LBMA is. Unicorn fart dust silver. This is real silver. I'm going to put that in there. Woo, the sound. Anyway, if you want to, there's a link in the description of this video. Where it says enter the DirtyMan SAFE giveaway here, and there's directions on how to do it. It's simple, it's easy. And you, on December 30th, could win your very own DirtyMan SAFE, and you'll be surprised when you get it. It's very, very cool. Okay, short, here, get to this story. The COMEX, why is it a big deal? Is it a big deal that the COMEX raised the margin requirements on silver? I'm going to tell you what I learned about that, but let's go here. This is from Bob Coleman. Silver alert. The CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, will be I got to tell you guys, when I was in college, I went to DePaul University in Chicago, studied accounting. A lot of the guys, and I lived in the city, Lincoln Park. Anyway, a lot of the people, they worked at these exchanges, the Board of Trade and the CME and all that. And some of my buddies worked down there. They were runners. It used to be different, not all electronic. Man, let me just put it to you this way, because these guys that work there will tell you this. It's a pit of vipers. I mean, it is crazy. Nonetheless, the CME will be raising margin requirements by 4.3% on silver futures effective after October 25th, 2024. There's the proof. There's the letter. Okay. So I dug in. Is that a big deal? What does that mean for silver? The best that some people say, oh, that means silver is going to skyrocket, right? The best that I could, a couple key takeaways, why they're raising the margin requirements. And what that means, I'm sorry, I didn't even explain what that means, is they're raising the amount of money that you have to have cash in your account for the silver contracts. The silver contract is for 5,000 ounces. And that margin requirement raise means you need to have more cash, more equity in your account to hold those ounces. Some people say, well, number one, I think I can say this with a high level of confidence. The only reason they're doing that is because they're scared, number one, and because of volatility, right? Because people wind up becoming like out of the money on these contracts, and then they don't have enough money in their account to cover all their losses. Isn't that sad? Right? But then there's different opinions as to whether that will drive the price up or the price down. What I believe, after reading a lot of different comments, is that in the end, this is a good thing for the silver price. It shows that the CME, right, the people that trade the unicorn fart dust, paper silver, like what, 200, 300, 400 ounces of paper make-believe silver for each 1 ounce of real silver, that they're scared, right? Things are happening. Some people think that this is a very, very, very good thing. Hey guys, let's pause for a second and have a quick sup of coffee. You want to have a sup of coffee? Sup of kiffy? Let's have a sip of coffee. Okay. BRICS. Silver and gold investors. The BRICS thing, and it just wrapped up, is a big mega deal. I'm going to tell you the reasons why, because in the end, gold and silver win. There's a lot. It's just like when we talk about the U.S. financial system in the debt clock. In the end, gold and silver win against the U.S. Western financial system and within the evolving BRICS financial system. And I'll explain to you, I'll give you the reasons why we should, I don't use that word often, should remain being very optimistic, right, about the value, the real value of the gold and silver that we own. This is real. This is happening, right? Even though 98% of your fellow Americans think bricks are these clay-fired blocks that you use to build buildings, which they're correct. There's another BRICS, and we know about it, and it's a big deal for silver and gold investors, okay? Let's go to Reuters. This is shocking. What if Russia, right? What if we just talked about the COMEX and the LBMA. What if the BRICS countries, what if Russia, right, actually start their own exchange? We know China has already done that with the Shanghai Gold Exchange. But what about Russia now as well? This is from Reuters. This is big news. This is telling us, giving us reasons why gold and silver are reasserting themselves as the only form of real money in the world. Let's go out to Reuters. Without further ado, what did I put up here? All right, here we go. Russia in talk. Oh, did I pull that up? I did. Okay. Hey, stay with me, basement dwellers. Here we go. Reuters, right? The world's leading news agency, financial news agency. Russia in talks with BRICS over precious metals exchange. Let's just look at a couple of these key points. Why the reasons why this is so important. Russia is in talks with other BRICS members about creating an international precious metals exchange to ensure fair pricing and trade growth. The country's Finance Minister Anton Solomavo said in a statement on Thursday. Okay, on Thursday. Today's what? Friday? Yeah, Friday. That was yesterday. Breaking news. Big deal. This is a big deal. This is the repricing of gold and silver, because gold and silver are continuing in absolute terms to become more important in the BRICS, which represents like 40% of the world economy, and even in the West as well. Wait till you hear what people are speculating the Fed is going to do with gold. Anyway, leaders of BRICS countries, which account for 37% of the global economy, okay, I rounded up, gathered in the Russian city of Kazan this week to discuss initiatives aimed at creating alternatives to the Western-dominated financial and trade infrastructure. Okay, it gets even better. It says, quote, the mechanism will include the creation of price indicators for metals, gold, silver, standards for the production and trade of bullion, the instruments for accrediting market participation, clearing and auditing within BRICS. This is Russia. This is BRICS. This is gold and silver. And this guy in the lower right corner is bugging me. Okay, the BRICS Precious Metals Exchange would rival Western trading platforms. Why is that a big deal? Because the Western trading platforms, that would be the COMEX in the United States and the LBMA over in London, England, are in big, big trouble, right? They're already being drained of gold. Okay, and I digress. Oh, such as the London's Metals Exchange, and would protect trade from sanctions imposed by the West on the BRICS nations. This is happening in real time, basement dwellers. It is happening. It is a big deal. Let me read this to you. Gold wins no matter what type of payment system the BRICS come up with. It always boils back to gold and silver. Thank you, Marcus. Shanghai. We'll get there in a second. And silver's right there behind it. Nothing else works. Think about this. Think about this. Oil. You can't back a currency with oil? The United States tried it for the last 50 years. The BRICS countries, oil's consumed, oil's hard to measure. I spent a brief period of time as an accountant in the oil industry. Accounting for oil is a lot of guessing. You never know. The temperature affects how much is in the tank, and it's a big mess. And anyway, I digress. They aren't going to use oil. They're not going to use wheat. Wheat spoils, wheat, whatever, right? They're not going to use natural gas to back their currency. No, they're all going to use gold and then silver, right? Platinum won't work because apparently platinum rubs away. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, they're going to use gold and silver. That's what, and even if they don't explicitly, and as we have not heard that, and I said that leading up to this BRICS summit, I told you guys, the speculation that we're going to get this official announcement of the 40, we don't need it. Then there's a reason why we don't need that 40% gold standard, gold-backed BRICS currency. It doesn't matter. Because what it all boils down to is if they're going to trade amongst each other, it's going to come back to gold and silver. And that's why Russia wants to set up a gold and silver a giant market to knock out the COMEX and the LBMA. That's why China set up a gold and silver market. Because, guys, it doesn't matter if they have a gold-backed currency. When they work together, when they trade with each other, guess what? They don't trust each other's currencies any more than they trust the U.S. dollar. What they're going to do is trade with each other, and then they're going to run to the Shanghai Gold Exchange, which is a physical market, and convert their yuan or convert their rubles into yuan, but they're going to convert it all back into gold. And shortly, right behind it, right there, as the strong little brother, is silver. And so that's why, why are these countries? Wait, this is crazy. Okay. Think about what we just talked about. Now think about this breaking big story. And this is the reason why this was a big story that we got last week. The Russian government officially said they are buying silver. When's the last time you heard a government say they were buying silver? You didn't, right? There's something going on. Remember that song? I know there's something going on, right? There's something going on, All right. Now, China is buying all the silver they can get their hands on. We know that. We know that China not only is buying silver in the markets, guys, China is going directly to the mining companies in Mexico. And you know what they're saying? Think about this, right? Typically, right now, silver gets mined. Mexico's the biggest silver producer in the world. Silver gets mined in Mexico. It gets refined. It gets put on the COMEX and the LBMA, the London Bullion Market, and then it gets manipulated and blah, blah, blah. There's a big change, and there's a reason why this is a big deal right now, because now the Chinese are going directly to Mexico. And you know what they're telling them? I don't know if they're speaking Chinese or Mexican. Maybe they have a converter or a translator. They use their Huawei phones. I don't know. Nonetheless, what they're saying and what they're doing is they are buying concentrate. They're buying the unfinished, processed but unfinished silver ore directly from the Mexican miners. So what does that mean? That means that silver goes directly from Mexico to China to be refined. It does not go from Mexico to COMEX or LBMA. No, we buy direct from the source, from the factory. That's what the Chinese are doing, and that's a big, big deal. Let's go out, since we're here, and we got a Shanghai super chat this morning. Here, we can be done with that. $933. That is crazy. Let's go check. Let's just go check on the silver price in China. Right? The C in BRICS. And here we go. There's the Oriental Ghost. He's always at the top of my list. All right, Oriental Ghost. Okay, we cannot read that. Looks like BRICS are going to take control of metal prices. And then that is Chinese, which I cannot read. We'll come back to that. Looks like oh man. All right, let's check on the silver price. This is the silver price in China on the Shanghai Gold Exchange. And we emphasize the high because the price of silver in China is always higher than it is in the United States. There's AG, that's the symbol, whatever you call it, for silver. SGE, Shanghai Gold Exchange. And we are at 35.44 in US dollars. This is a physical market. This is way different than the COMEX, which is a paper, make-believe, unicorn fart dust market, right? This is the real physical price. You have to have physical metal, right? From what I've been told and what I understand, or at least like 98% or 90-something% of the metal that's traded, the contracts that are traded on the Shanghai Gold Exchange are backed by real metal. That's a big, big deal. Okay, $35.44. Let's everybody take their blood pressure medicine with me right now. Let's get an update on silver. We were only down a penny. We're going to press the button here. All right. I always feel like I'm in a casino when I do that. All right. Thank you, guys. We are up 13 cents on the silver price. This could be a very good day for silver because, look, we looked at that silver chart earlier. We had a big run up. It's normal to have a bit of a pullback, a consolidation. That lets all the wimpy silver holders, right, or people who are, silver got to $34. Now it's at 33. Oh, it went down $1. I got to sell. I'm going to get out while I can. Those are the chicken littles, and that's fine. Nothing against you if you sold any silver. Okay, but we got to get rid of all those people. And then when all the chicken littles are gone, they sold their silver for $33, right? There's just us, the few, the strong, right? The tough, the Navy SEALs of the silver community that are holding. And now, since nobody's selling, more buyers come in because China is buying up. Not just China. This is nuts. Oh, man, we got so much to cover. The guys, this is absolutely crazy. India is buying unbelievable amounts of. I missed you. Are you guys still here? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, boy. This goes. Susie's not here, so hopefully you can hear me. I appreciate you being here. Don't forget thumbs up. And what else? Oh, we got a big special going on subscribing to the channel. It's free, and it always will be free. But, what the price you pay is the time that you give. So we appreciate you. You're part of the club. Welcome, basement dwellers. Welcome, silver and gold investors. And I'm going to do my best not to call you Buttercup today because I'm getting in a lot of trouble for that. But to me, Buttercup is a term of endearment. Let's go out to the smartest guy in the room, Chris Marcus. This is crazy. So we just talked about what's going on with BRICS and silver. Arcadia Economics, this is their Substack. I have a link to it in the description of this video. Chris Marcus, Arcadia Economics. Many of you know him. He's been around for years. He's one of the smartest guys in the room. He's a great guy. I mean, he's done so much for silver. Check out his Substack, please. But let's listen to this. We're just going to look at a couple charts that are going to blow you away. The India silver situation is confounding. Okay, you're going to be stunned, flabbergasted, and taken aback when you see this data. 3 months ago, India lowered the import taxes on gold and silver, which was expected at the time to have a significant boost in demand. And that has indeed turned out to be the case. As in August, there was a surge in both gold and silver imports that has continued into September as well. All right, he puts out a piece every single day. Well worth the price of admission. He's given me permission every once in a while to, people pay for this, okay? But every once in a great while, because I love Chris and love his stuff, he said, yeah, you can show my stuff, some of my stuff during your live stream. So let's go down. Let's look at these three charts. These are gold imports in tonnies, okay? I did some research for you guys. I spent hours doing this, by the way. And I said, how many ounces are in a tonnie? And here we go. Let me show you this. Let me make sure we're on the same screen, which we are. Okay. In tonnies to ounces of gold. In one tonnie, there's 35,000. We'll just say 35,000 ounces per tonnie. I think it's ton, but it's fun to say tonnie. Look at this. This is India gold imports. 2023 is the light pink. 2024, the current year, is the dark red color. As you can see, right? We're only through September. We don't know what the 2024, but guys, look at this. Look at July. Look at July. Oh, that would be August. Look at August. Look at the 2024. I mean, it's almost twice as much. Look at September. Okay. The amount of gold being imported is skyrocketing, I believe. And then this gray line is the 5-year average. So over the last 5 years, on average, right where you see my little magnifying glass, look how much more in July of this year they imported. Look at August. Look at August. Even look at September. Okay. Now we're going to look at silver, because silver's even crazy. This is crazy. Okay. The light blue right there is 2023. The darker blue is 2024. Look at these numbers, okay, the dark blue numbers. Look at the number of tonnies that were imported, 2,250. Look at these numbers. Look at even, I mean, that was crazy. We remember that, but even look what's happened in August and September, through the roof. Now, last year, in October, now, again, we don't have October, November, December, but just to give you an idea, let's figure up how many tonnies, and then we'll figure out how many ounces of silver, roughly or pretty accurately, India has imported this year. So we got 750 in January. Then we had 2,000. So that's about 3,000. March, we'll say 3,750. We'll add these together and say about 4,000. Okay. And then this 5,500 tonnies, and about another 6,500 tons of silver imported by India alone. If you multiply 6,500 tonnies times 35,000, which is rounded down, that is 225 million ounces of silver imported by India. And we still have 3 months left. Okay. 225 million ounces is, let's do the math real quickly. This is the first 9 months of the year. Hold on here. 225 divided by, we'll say 800. That's already 30% in the first 3 months of the year. That's 30%. Let's go back to this, because think about this, guys. It gets even crazier when we look at this. Wrong one. Here we go. When we look at this chart, okay, if we're at 225 million ounces right now, that India, we still have these 3 months left to go. That's 75 million every 3 months. Okay, 3 times 75 million would equal 225 million. That means if they just continue at their average pace for the next 3 months, they're going to import 300 million ounces of silver. That is just absolutely insane. Here it is on another way to look at it. This is September. The red line is September, where we are this month. Okay, that was February, but the red line is the current month. Look, how many months out of the last 25 years have they been above? Not many. That was September, and that was February. That was a record. It is just absolutely, guys, 300 million ounces. If they just stay on track, we'll see. Even if they don't buy any more silver this year, they're importing 30% of the world's production. If they do remain on track, let's go ahead. We'll do that math quickly. 300, not 3,000, 300 divided by 800. India could import almost 40% of the world's silver this year. Have a sip of coffee with me. Okay, slammy jammy. The mic's back on. What's a Minsky moment? Are we heading for that moment where the world wakes up and realizes, oh my gosh, I need to get silver and gold, right? Is there a reason? Is there evidence that that type of situation has unfolded in the past? Yes, there is, and it's called the Minsky moment. I read all your comments, and I had a great comment that came through that really got me thinking. We know what's coming in the United States. We know what is coming. We know, because we can look at the U.S. debt clock. We know what's going to happen. Are we that different? Are we going to be in that much of a different situation than a poor farmer in India? Right? What do they do with their money? Hint, hint, silver. Okay. Are we going to be, could we be in a very precarious situation? And this comment really got me thinking. Wrong comment. No, this is it. From John Wilson. He said the Minsky, and I'm going to show you what a Minsky moment is. So stay with me here, because you've heard that term before. It's very easy to understand. We're going to talk about what it means. But the Minsky moment will be when the population, that's you and me, right? But more importantly, your neighbors, your family, your friends, when they realize that there are limited places to put your money. This actually could be good, right? Because remember, guys, there's $6.5 trillion in money market accounts. And when people suddenly wake up, and I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. I think it could happen in 2025. But I'm talking like sometime in the next months, maybe next years, but it's going to happen when people realize my money's becoming worthless, and I don't want to put it in the stock market, and I don't want to put it into real estate. What am I going to do with it? And you know what? They're all going to run the gold and silver. This guy, John, this is a great comment. This actually could be good. If you were a poor bugger, whatever. I don't think he means that in a bad way. In Africa, South America, developing Asia, Missouri, Montana, California, right? Where would you put your dough? That is all you have to think about. Where would you put your dough? Where would you put it? And you're going to put it into gold and silver. Now, what is a Minsky moment? You probably heard that term, and I did as well, and I didn't really know the origins of it. Let me see. Here we go. This is quick and easy, but a little bit of education, because we are, as silver and gold investors, it's so important that we realize what a Minsky moment is and the reasons why it could be so important to investors in silver and gold. A Minsky moment, this is from Wikipedia, is a sudden major collapse of asset values, which marks the end of a growth phase of a cycle in credit markets and business activity. Boys and girls, let me show you something. We're going to come back and finish on this. This is credit. This is debt. That's what they're talking about. All these crazy numbers, right? The fact that you own $271,000 as a U.S. citizen, that is credit market. That is debt. According to the hypothesis, the rapid instability occurs because long periods of steady prosperity and investment gains encourage a diminished perception of overall risk. Everybody's asleep, which promotes leveraged risk of investing borrowed money instead of cash. Isn't that what's happening right now? Think about it. Everybody's like, oh, it's called recency bias. Everybody's like, oh, everything's fine. Everything's great. Everything's been fine. The bank's always been safe. The U.S. government has never defaulted on its debt. So everybody just falls asleep. That's the Minsky moment. When the Minsky moment is when, that's not the Minsky moment. The Minsky moment is when everybody wakes up. Wake up, Buttercup, right? When everybody wakes up, not you, I'm not calling you Buttercup. Buttercup is a term of endearment. But when everybody wakes up and realizes these are just made out of paper or linen. I got chewed out one time by somebody for that. Dollars are actually not made out of paper, but I will continue to say paper because that's the generally accepted way to describe. Oh, I just knocked my elbow into a roll of, look at these, one of my favorites. Look at these real quickly. Let's do a quick show and tell. This is the world's smallest. I love miniature things. This is the world's smallest silver stack. Okay. I got these from Pimbex. There's a big premium on them. I bought them more, not as a stacker, but as a novelty. This is actually, I'm stacking big dough here in the basement. Let me tell you. Hold on here. Hold on. I got to show you this. I don't want to use that. I'll use these scissors. What the heck? There it is. There's a piece of. This is great. I'm probably going to spill these and regret that I did this, but hold on. All right. Let's see if I can do this for you. Presenting. Oh boy, I'm shaking. That's the world's smallest silver stack. These are, and I love these things. Hold on here. These are, see if I can get it on the camera. Wow. I don't know if you can see that. Is it focusing? Hold on. Those are that's a 1/10 ounce, 1/10 of an ounce UK Britannia. This damn camera's driving me crazy. Anyway, they're tiny, as you can see. I just love them. That's the world's smallest silver stack. Pembex has them. Not telling you what to do. To me, I bought them as a novelty. Some people would say, oh, it's great. I could use 1/10 of an ounce. What? Well, maybe I can use those to buy a loaf of bread someday when we're all walking around like zombies and using our constitutional silver to trade at farmers markets. You never know what might happen. You never know. Did we get another super chat? Thank you, Debbie. Again, wow, super generous. Jake, super generous. Joe, super generous. And Mark, Shanghai. Yes, the price of silver is always higher in Shanghai. Man, we got a lot. I may come on a little bit later, guys, or make a video because I got a lot more to talk about. Here we go. Let's go to this real quick. Are the big banks? What would it mean if the big bullion banks were getting their boomers busted? We're going to play whack-a-mole. This is from the Economic Times of India. Okay, and oh, shoot. This is what? Gosh darn it. I hate these Indian websites. I love India, but these Indian websites are maddening. Hold on here. Anyway, okay, the Economic Times of India let me see if I can refresh that, if that'll work. They drive me crazy. Number one, they're nothing but a bunch of pop-ups. They had a big article. Here's the reality. I can tell you this from memory. The big bullion banks are in big trouble, okay? They have this massive short position. Right now, they're underwater like by billions of dollars. Some people think that's why the COMEX upped the margin requirement, okay, on the silver contracts. Those dirty, I can't cuss. It's a family show. Those dirty people at the COMEX and the LBMA that they are the bullion banks, that the COMEX, the CME is working in cahoots with them to kind of try to help save them at this point, because they are in such deep doo-doo over the short positions they had. Somebody else brought up a fact. They sold these contracts, right? Are people going to start demanding delivery on the COMEX and the LBMA? It's getting very, very, very interesting. Okay. Oh, what about the Fed? Let's talk about the Fed really quickly. There's a speculation. This is interesting. Apparently, the United States Federal Reserve has a big construction project going on. This is from the Silver Academy Substack. Got a link to that in the description as well. Russia in talks with the BRICS over precious metals exchange. We covered that. U.S. also wanting to add gold to its mysterious calculus. Okay, here we go. Gold brings her friend silver along for fun. I love memes, and we've got more and more. Folks, the first shot has been fired about the U.S. joining the gold wars, and the winner will be silver, right? So sure, the world is, everybody's kind of forgetting about this. What does this mean? The world is moving toward gold, but silver is like the little twin brother, the little brother. Silver is right there. Silver is a monetary metal. What that means is as gold goes, silver will follow. And you know, the added little kicker bonus that we have is that it's like the most useful metal for everything that's growing in the world right now: electronics, healthcare, solar energy, whatever. Silver is in a lot of ways, from an industrial side, like the new oil. It is going to be absolutely crazy, but that's not it. This is what we want to talk about: the Fed. Apparently, there's a big construction project at the Fed. I honestly don't know a ton about this, but I've heard this story now reported a couple of times, and there's some interesting speculation that's very important for silver and gold investors to pay attention to, because it says right here, there's the Fed under construction. Jerome, what are you doing? Where'd he go? Where'd Jerome go? There he is. Based on recent developments, we believe that a mysterious portion of the Federal Reserve's $2.5 billion construction project is dedicated to expanding gold storage facilities. Now, look, I'm going to emphasize this is speculation, right? But I don't think the Fed is really telling us what they're doing. $2.5 billion to include silver and gold vaults. We're going to need a bigger boat. This ambitious undertaking, this is interesting, suggests that the Federal Reserve anticipates a need for substantial increased gold storage capacity in the near future. The scale of the project indicates that the Fed may be preparing for a potential shift in monetary policy or anticipating changes in the global financial landscape that could necessitate larger gold reserves. And again, gold is going to bring silver with it. This is big news for silver investors as well. Big speculation, big possibility. While the exact details remain confidential, the allocation of considerable space and resources to gold storage within this massive construction project has sparked speculation about the Fed's long-term strategies and the future role of gold in the U.S. financial system. Guys, I got news for you. Okay? If you live in the United States, like I do, right, you're broke. Your government is broke financially, fiscally, broke. And no matter what tricks and money printing or whatever they call it, they're not going to call it QE. They're going to come. It doesn't matter. The system doesn't work, right? It's done, in my opinion. And it's only now a matter of time. They've held it together with it's like a Ford Festiva with 266,000 miles on it, right? They've been gluing it together. They got Bondo on it. They got, what's that stuff called? Lucas engine oil treatment. But the reality is the fundamentals, it's broke. It's done. We could, who knows? Is the Fed preparing? Possibly, right? For some type of reintegration or what's the word? It always is integrated. We know Exeter's pyramid, recognition, a resurgence, a revival, whatever you want to call it, of gold and silver in the monetary system in the United States. Gold and silver always win. Okay. Real quickly. Okay. It's time for Ron's Real Estate Roundup. Do you own a home? You want to own a home? Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. I was watching one of those conservative commentators last night talking about home ownership. Did you know this? This is crazy. And this will show you why you want to hold on to silver and gold. Okay. That it takes that before when and this is not a political show, but when Donald Trump was president, it took a salary of about, on average, $75,000 to buy a house. Do you know what kind of salary you need today, right now, to buy a house? $125,000. We are in a bubble. Real estate, housing, no matter where you're joining me from, no matter where you need housing. We all need housing. We need shelter, and we are in a big housing. It's time for Ron's Real Estate Roundup. Let's talk about some doom and gloom in the real estate market. This is just absolutely crazy, this data that's coming through. Breaking. Hold on here. Breaking news, guys. Breaking. U.S. home sales on track for worst year since 1995. Look, guys, 1981. This is where we are through September. So granted, we still have 3 more months to go. So it's a little bit misleading. But unless I'm reading this wrong, still right now, right, guys, the real estate market is Doomville. Here's CNBC. They say September home sales. CNBC, September home sales drop to lowest levels since 2010. And I wonder why, CNBC. The median price of an existing home sold in September was $400,000, right? Back 5 years ago, that number was probably more like, what, $230,000? Guess what, guys? That's why you want to hold gold and silver, right? Because it will, in the long run, keep up with these things. We've all seen this example of, an average house in 1920 cost, I don't know, whatever it is, however many ounces of gold. What would it be? 20? I don't know, 200, whatever. And that today, basically, you can get the same house, right? The same average house for the same number of ounces of gold, and actually a little bit more. I saw one thing where it said you can buy the same house and you can afford to furnish it with new furniture and pay for a landscape architect. I digress. Wolf Street says demand destruction for existing home sales. Sales in 2024 plunged below 4 million, the lowest since 1995. And they say right here, because prices are way too high. Buyers strike. They call it a buyer strike. People aren't buying houses because those people didn't invest in gold and silver, I'm telling you. Deepened with even mortgage rates at 2-year lows. So think about that. Mortgage rates at 2-year lows, and they still can't get home sales to pick up. Guys, we are in big trouble. Here we go. This is from In Gold We Trust. Storing your wealth in gold is superior to storing your wealth even in residential real estate. This is one of those charts that we talked about, and it shows us how gold has even outpaced, right, the average part. And this is a little foggy. Looks like it goes back to the 1960s. Nonetheless, right, how the gold price, there's a little period there, but gold in yellow has totally outpaced the silver price. All right, guys, hold on here. It's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy time. Let's go check real quick. Before we say, let's go check the U.S. debt clock and see if the dollar to silver ratio has gone up even more. We're at 933. I think that's where we were earlier. Still, $933 of unicorn fart dust paper fiat money being printed for each 1 ounce of silver that's being produced, right? Right? We can talk about 1 ounce of silver, but I'd rather talk about the one and only you. You're unique. You're special. You have things to offer the world. You're nice. I can tell you that from all the nice messages I get from all you basement dwellers. Feel good about yourself, right? Feel good about the timeless decision you've made to provide yourself and your family with generational wealth by buying precious metals, buying precious metal mining stocks. Look, I don't have a crystal ball. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything I'm saying. I do want to say thank you to channel sponsor Pinbacks. Don't forget, right? If you want a company that checks all the boxes when you're buying bullion online, do yourself a favor and consider checking out Pinbacks. Thank you to First Mining Gold for sponsoring Ron's Basement. If you want gold in the ground in the world's safest vault in the ground in one of the best jurisdictions in the world, Canada, They have 2 multi-million ounce gold development stage projects in Canada, one in Ontario, one in Quebec. Please check them out. Fortuna Mining, they are a producing gold and silver mining company. They're producing gold and silver in Latin America, okay, and big amounts of gold in West Africa. Look, I buy my gold and silver from Pimbex. I buy my silver. I'm sorry. I've never bought any gold from Pimbex. Correct that. I bought silver from Pimbex, and I own shares in First Mining Gold and Fortuna Mining. Please help support the sponsors. They help support the channel. Please come back. I'll look forward to seeing you. Don't forget, subscribe, thumbs up, help, and I will see you soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.